Hi, I'm Rudy Tomjanovich, and I'm excited to answer your questions today. The first question is about how I like to coach Hakeem Olajuwon. Well, my answer is I loved coaching Hakeem Olajuwon because he's such a great player, such a willing student of the game, and he was so versatile that he did just about everything on the court. On defense, he was a shot blocker and an intimidator, and he also pressured the guards out on the floor when they came off the pick and roll. On offense, there was nothing he couldn't do. He was good inside. He was good facing up. Just truly a superstar player, and I was blessed to have that opportunity. The most memorable moments of my career happened early in my career. I had just broken into the lineup and was getting some playing time, and we had some great shooters on the team. So the best way for me to score was to get offensive rebounds, and I was a maniac at it. I just kept going. On every shot, I ran to the boards, and if it was a miss, I'd be up there to tip it in. If it was a make, I was there waiting for it to come out. When we played against the Lakers, Wilt Chamberlain would zone up and stand under the basket. So when I was doing my rebounding thing, on a lot of the shots that went in, I'd go up and I'd be by the basket and my butt would come down and hit Wilt on the shoulder. And after a couple of these, he had it, and in a deep baritone voice, he said, "Tomjanovich, don't come into the paint anymore, jumping on my back." And first of all, I was very shocked that he knew my name at that time, so that made me even more nervous. And I tried to muster up all the courage I could, and my voice broke, and I said, "Wilt, I'm just out here trying to do my job." And he says, "I mean it, don't be coming in here." And it happened a couple more times, and he pointed at me, and I said, "Come on, Wilt, we're just out here trying to do our jobs." So late in the game, the ball hits the floor. I go down and I get it, and Wilt's a split second late, and he grabs my arm, and the referee blows the whistle, foul. And we shoot every foul at that time, so we're ready to march down the floor. And as I try to get my arm to come out, Wilt's holding on to it. And at that time, he's known as the strongest man in the world. So I've got to do something. And I turned quickly to him and I put my finger in his face and I shook it like this, and he let me go. As I went to the bench, my teammates were going crazy. "What are you doing out there? How the heck did you get Wilt to back down?" And I was kind of shocked because they didn't know what I said. And when I turned to him, I said, "Please, Mr. Chamberlain, give me one more chance." After winning in 1994, that first championship, we were hoping that we would have a great carryover into the next season. But unfortunately, that did not happen. And I believed that that team, the 94 team, should stay intact and get a chance to defend that title. However, complacency or something seeped in, and I felt we did have to make a move. A great player, Clyde Drexler, was available. We thought that that was too good of a deal to pass up, and so we made a trade in the middle of the season, and Clyde came in and carried the team because Hakeem Olajuwon and Vernon Maxwell was hurt, and he was a big factor in winning that second championship. When a young coach gets a job, he must quickly develop a philosophy on how you're going to play, a style of play, and I believe that that philosophy should be based on the players you have, and the offense should be tailor-made to those players' skills. So we had the great Hakeem Olajuwon, who was a great post-up player, and we knew that other teams would have to double team, so we went out and got the best outside shooters we could get. And when they double teamed, Akeem passed the ball out, we moved it around the three-point line and let them go, and it was a big part of our offense. The next question is about what players impacted me. Well, I'm going to answer that two ways. As a player, the guy that I looked up to and who was a local hero in Detroit was Dave DeBuscher, who was a player coach at the age of 24, and just a solid player who always gave 110%. So I wanted to fashion my game after him. And then as a coach, there's no one who did it more than Akeem Olajuwon. If he's not on the team when I get the job, you're probably not talking to me right now. The advice that I would give to junior NBA players is to keep a positive attitude about your game, but be realistic. When you hear what your coaches say to work on, those are the things you gotta focus on. But overall, I think the league puts a premium on shooting the basketball, and that's even if you're a big man. If you can space the floor and open it up so your teammates could drive into the basket, you're going to be helping your team. So hours and hours of shooting. My first year in the league didn't go as I had hoped. I was the second pick in the draft in 1970, but I didn't break into the lineup for the San Diego Rockets really the whole year. I played mostly off the bench. I had a couple stretches where I did get in and have some productive games. So at the end of the year, we actually had a banquet, and at that banquet, I was presented with a little mustache in a case, and as a joke, they thought that was my only accomplishment, or my best accomplishment for the year. So, of course, this really got under my skin. I didn't think it was a very nice joke, and I went right after that banquet. I didn't take a vacation. I went right into the gym and started working on my game even more. And by the next year, I was starting for the Rockets. And in 3 years, I was making the All-Star team. So I like to take negatives and turn them into positives. I'm often asked where that statement came from, and it was not original. It came from Kevin Johnson of the Phoenix Suns after we had beat them 2 years in a row when they had us on the ropes and had us down. He said, the Rockets have the heart of a champion. You think you got them, but you can't close them out. His teammate, Charles Barkley, had another saying. He said, they're like those Texas roaches. You stomp on them, and you think they're dead, and you lift your foot up and they scurry away. I thought out of those analogies, the best one was the heart of a champion, and not, let's go roaches. The second part of that question, do I live by those words? Well, what those words are saying is, if someone has had success, believe them. They have what it takes to get that done, and there's no way in the world that you should doubt them. And I thought that's what was happening that year.